All right, so I caught wind of this story a little bit early, and I thought it was a joke. I thought it wasn't there was like no validity to the story being real because I was like, no way they would actually even consider that. But of course, I waited a day or two later, and I look up again, and now there's stories about it everywhere. And are you fucking kidding me? So we're gonna go through this in a second. I picked Newsweek on purpose because I already know how the right's gonna frame it. I want to see how the left frames it because they're gonna try to splain this shit, right? They're gonna come in and do all the splaining for Biden because this fool is talking about giving $450,000 per illegal immigrant that was separated under the Trump administration. So let me get this straight. Look, the right is correct in a way when they say there is a racial hierarchy in America. It's just their order is wrong. Remember when it came to the hate bills and they had the bipartisan stop Jewish hate, stop Asian hate, and then there was the black people hate crime rose and nobody said anything? Look at this. Slave owners got reparations. Jewish people got reparations for something we didn't even do. Asians got reparations for World War II. Hispanics are now pending. And there is still no talk on our land that has already been paid for hundreds of years of free labor. And now we're talking about already giving reparations to people who shouldn't be here, who we told if you come here, this is what will happen. And we do it, and they do it anyway. And they're talking about giving almost $500,000 per person. But then they want to act like they can't find 40 acres, per family. Per family, I'm not even talking about per person, right? Let's just start with per family. I'm telling you, it's been proposed. It's been proposed right now. This bill is being proposed and talked about. If I see one check go into one illegal's hands for reparations, like we need to do something. We need to go march or something, because this is some bullshit. But it drives home the point, right? This is what they think of you. The Republicans are just more honest with what they think of you. The Democrats try to dress it up. They dress it up a little bit, and I understand why a lot of black people tend to vote Democrat, because the Republicans are so unpalatable to black people, right? They're just so openly openly racially tone deaf that a lot of people are like, yo, fuck these guys, I'm gonna spite vote the other way. And don't like either side. But I'm like, look, at this point, if you don't like either side, I always said this to everyone, if you hate both sides, vote third party, be independent, or don't vote. Please, for the love of God, do not spite vote. Because again, look what they think of us. They're willing to give reparations to people who we warned not to do this or this would happen before people who have a contract written out that has been screwed out of for 150 plus years. Explain that to me. Okay. So this is how Newsweek frames it. GOP outrage over Biden talks to pay migrant families separated at the border. Yeah, GOP outrage. I think black people should be way more outraged. Prominent Republicans have criticized and reported the proposal to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars in compensation to families who suffered under the zero-tolerance migration policy of former President Trump. The Wall Street Journal reported that the Justice and Homeland Security and Health and Human Services Department were among the agencies negotiating settlements of $450K per person affected by the policy that led to families being separated at the U.S. southern border. In spring 2018, Border Patrol agents that apprehended and jailed parents, see how they frame that parents, even though many of them were actually child traffickers posing as parents, right? So basically, a lot of coyotes would get this payout. So again, we will give reparations to child traffickers before the slave descendants that was promised to them through a contract that the government tries to play dumb that they don't remember existed. Okay. Again, this is why I say, this is what they think of you. Lawyers from some 940 families have said their separation has caused long-term emotional distress and trauma from both parents and children. I don't care. That's the parents' problem. We warn them, we will do this if you come here. What is the problem? President Biden faces pressure to fulfill campaign promise to overturn Trump's anti-immigration legacy. Okay, first of all, it wasn't anti-immigration. It was anti-illegal immigration, which is I find no problem with that. I'm totally fine with legal immigration with heavy vetting. I am not an open borders libertarian. I think that's stupid. I think those are, what's it called? That's a utopian idea of having a libertarian society with open borders. And then here comes the fun part. Some prominent Republicans have posted on Twitter to condemn the report about compensation. Lindsey Graham tweeted, "I just about fell out of my chair when I read this. For the sake of our country, I hope this reporting is an error. This would be an outrage." But let me put it this way. But if there was like, hey, for something Palestine did to Israel, America's going to give $450K to every Jew in Israel, Lindsey Graham would be like, this is the greatest thing the DNC has ever done. We both know that would be the case. And miss me with the anti-Semitism nonsense on the right. Pointing out that Lindsey Graham is an Israel shill is not the same as attacking all Jewish people. Trump Jr. used more evocative language in his tweet saying, "Holy shit." Yeah, that's what I said too. But I've been pointing out, black people who vote Democrat, this is what they think of you. They are willing to actually get to the negotiating phase of giving reparations to people who do not deserve it, who willingly came here. We warned this would happen before us, who still have a contract that was never fulfilled, that caused generational problems over time. They won't even acknowledge. They'll acknowledge it. How many times has reparations even gotten to the negotiating phase? Has slavery reparations ever even got to the negotiating phase? So I just want you to think about that. This is where they put you. They will give it to them before they even talk about you. You want to take a broad swipe at Democrats? Trump Jr. says you lost your business, your job, your family members whose funerals you couldn't attend. He added, the IRS wants to audit if you had $600 in your bank account and the government gave you 2 G's. But if you're inconvenienced by coming here illegally, $450K each, I agree. You're telling me you're going to shut everything down, right? And you can't even get us a two grand check? I mean, like I said, Biden already lied saying he's going to get you 2 grand checks. And then it was like, it's $1,600 now because he got 14. That's not what he said. But I already knew Biden was going to do this. I knew Biden's full of shit, right? I followed Biden for a long time and what he's been doing. That's why I always mock the progressives who were voting for him. I'm like, he's not going to do any of the things you say. Right? They were like, he's going to get us out of student loan debt. I was like, he's the reason you're stuck in student loan debt. He's going to help medical debt. He is the reason you are stuck in medical debt. All right, but people don't pay attention, man. Oh, all right. Marjorie Taylor Greene tweeted about the reported $1 billion bill that could follow if the reparations were paid. All while Biden keeps the border wide open so more people can illegally invade. Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene's a fucking idiot, but I'm like, I don't really disagree with that one. I don't disagree with that take. I mean, you saw some of the caravans coming in here, and they're like waving Mexican flags, and I'm like, kind of looks like an invasion. I mean, you have a bunch of people coming over the border, waving their own flag, coming into your country. It kind of looks that way. I'm just saying, it doesn't look like you actually want to be in this country, be part of this country. You already had that other guy, I forget his name. So in front of one of the caravans saying, this is war, and like God's on our side, so we got to throw in the blasphemy there. Gotta love that. And like, nobody talked about that. I think it was like touched on for a second. I was like, yo, if that was me, if I ran the country and a caravan came and said, we're going to come into your country and this is war, I'm like, all right, I'll treat you like an enemy combatant if that's what you want. I'm going to be like, you said it, not me. Oh, in a follow-up message, she tweeted, the Democratic president wants to pay reparations of $450K each to illegal immigrants totally snubbed Democrat Congresswoman Sheila Jackson's reparations bill for Black Americans. Yeah, because the right doesn't understand the reparations argument. They usually get their arguments from the black and the white ignorants, or the shit libs, either one. And they attack that. They don't attack... I never see the right have attacked the actual reparations argument, which is mainly my problem with him. You have people on the right who argue against it, who use these straw men that, like, nobody ever argued. Other than that, it's like, get over it, nigga. Not an argument. You'll just end up poor again. Not an argument. It's a government handout. Not true. Only a minority of the separated families could be eligible for compensation. Yeah, it's those who were separated under Trump. It doesn't matter. If one check goes out, I'm pissed. If one check goes out over this, Black people, we need to rally or something. We gotta do something. Because, for real, they're gonna pay it out to people who shouldn't be here over us? Okay. We got shit in writing. They just break the law and get money. Okay. You have Bill Haggerty saying, if you think Biden policies were a magnet for illegal immigration before, they are. Just wait until illegal immigrants are paid $450K each for coming here illegally. Offering free open borders apparently wasn't enough. Doing this in the middle of a record border crisis is jaw-dropping. Yeah, but, you know, like, most likely, I know they're negotiating for it. Most likely, this is going to be a virtue signal to get more people to show up. Although Biden has already deported more people than Trump has. I'm just pointing that out. If I'm going to be objective here. And then you have talk show host Joe Peggs wrote, Americans are being fired like crazy. Can't buy pizza in New York without having to show their COVID papers. Meanwhile, those who broke the law come here could be getting $450K per person. And they're not subject to mandates. Alright, I guess maybe we should all start going to Mexico and just like revoking our citizenship and then coming back over and re-getting citizenship at this point. Shit, I don't know. Look, I'm just saying reading this, it's very clear. They're making it very clear what they think of us. I'm just saying, I find it funny for the group of people that have the strongest argument for reparations are the only ones that are basically never going to get it. Very interesting. So, good job, Biden. Keep fucking everything up. And good job, shitlibs, for propping this guy up and continuing to defend him.